Little bumpy. Race 4 of the BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup. We are in a drizzly Winterberg in Germany's Hochsauerland, the first sliding action in Europe this season for our World Cup bobsleigh and skeleton competitors. Hello everybody, welcome back to Winterberg, where the waterproofs are going back on as the drizzle has returned. Ready for the second and deciding heat in the fourth race of 8 in this World Cup season. Martin Haven and alongside me, Mike Rogels from the USA. Mike, entertaining battle for the medals here after the first heat.
Extremely entertaining, super tight race. Got 3 guys tied for second, and then one guy just a few hundredths out in first. So basically, I mean, yeah, it's basically, we got the 3 medalists from China.
Exactly.
In second place, so.
Yeah, so all tied.
Smooth drives. Axel was basically the class of the field until he made this one mistake in entrance 14, which lost him quite a lot of time, so we'll see if he can improve on that. Again, these 3 guys are basically right on top of each other. It was interesting to me that none of them were in the top 10 start times, which just shows how good their drives were coming down the track.
And interesting that the Olympic medalists on a very different kind of track are all nailed together on identical times, just 600ths behind the race leader.
Yeah, Sungi's kind of been coming on for a few years, been improving. This has been a great season for him so far. A couple silvers. Yeah, so look to see what he can do. He's in a position to possibly win one.
Yeah, we've had 3 races so far this season in North America, 3 different winners, and it's a 50-50 chance we could get a 4th different winner. And if it is Jan or Jung, it will be a first-time win for them. Axel Jung with 3 career victories, as has Christopher Grotheer, so they could add a 4th. If Grotheer wins it, his World Cup wins will then exceed his number of Olympic and World Championship medals. So, I mean, so there's that.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Axel Jung fan club in bright orange, appropriately enough in the Dutch Alps, but it's from the German sponsors. And all the sleds waiting to go up in this big covered start area at the top of the track. Now, a lot of athletes, I'm sure, will be beating themselves up after the first heat, having made mistakes. The weather's been pretty grim all week long. The track has changed a lot as a result, not because water flows down it, but because it frosts in the humid air, and that could well be a factor as well late in the run.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the track's going to be slowing down throughout the run, and a lot of these sliders haven't actually been here when the track is quite this slow before.
Yeah.
So everybody's kind of learning new situation, and things are literally, the track could change the way you drive from the 1st to the 20th slider off the field. So,
well, the first slider will be the man who is in 20th place after the first heat. Canada's Evan Neufeld, Andrew Blaser, Alexander Schlindner, and the rest will follow him in reverse order of how they performed in the first heat. So we go last to fast, and again, those final 4 sliders covered by 600ths of a second. Let's get the second and deciding heat underway here in Winterberg. Race 4 of the BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup. Evan Neufeld kicks off the action. Martin Haven watching the action with Mike Rogels in the booth.
Yeah, Evan's been struggling all week, but maybe we can see him put together something second run. Oh, the track looks super wet right now, so there's gonna be major grip issues.
Well, the shades are open on the side so we can see in, but there is a roof covering the entire track, so...
Yeah, so it should not be actively raining, but they did spritz the track between runs, and it looks like it's just taking a while for the fresh water to set up.
Super glossy shine. 5:14 start, so 800 slower than his first heat.
I like that, Kreisel. Little flop off the end, that's not so bad. That's not ideal, the tap on the right wall. Going into 9, accelerating, coming through 11. That's a little bit of late entrance. That's fine. A little bit of a flop off 13 and 14. 125. What is that compared to his first run?
Oh, what a rough ride up the wall on the
So
exit.
he was okay faster than he was in his first run.
Yeah,
So,
3200s faster, off an 800 slower start. So actually that's a decent improvement. Of course, he was last on a frosty track. Here he's first on a freshly spritzed track.
yeah.
Slight improvement,
Yeah.
yeah. A third of a second.
Yeah, that one's definitely faster, so.
In the real world, a third of a second is nothing. But, you know, here we're talking about hundreds all the time. So actually that's a big bonus.
Yeah, that redirect at the tag of the wall. I was actually looking at the time. Yeah, he was almost there.
Yeah.
If he had been a few meters up earlier, he would have been on his side. But well managed.
Previous best in his only World Cup performance here in January 2020 was 28th. So he's comprehensively beaten that.
I'll keep working on the mustache.
Yeah.
It does need a little bit of work.
Yeah. He needs to speak to Andrew Blaser about the hirsuteness, because it's not growing well. Blaser next up then, and with a handy advantage over Evan Neufeld. His target, just 700s faster, will be Alexander Schlindner, who is the next athlete up. So then Andrew going kind of last two-thirds of the run, 14th off.
Yeah, so Blaser's kind of a 50-50 type guy on this track. So half the time he's fast, half the time he's slow. So we'll see what happens for his second run.
Looks a little bit better through the zero curve at curve 1. Again,
That looks much nicer in 2.
5:06 and 5:12 are his starts, so the start area is not as quick. They did recut the groove between the runs. We saw them doing that.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit, maybe a skid into 5. And you heard a skid there. A little bit.
That's one of the great things about camera coverage is so many mics by the track, you don't get away with anything, do you?
No, not at all.
You hear even if you don't see.
Yeah.
Don't actually hear the
And
athlete.
he's down on speed, despite a cleaner looking run.
But he's still building the advantage, just
Yeah.
creeping away from Evan Neufeld.
See what happens going up the hill, but yeah, he is. Oh, never mind, speed back. And, a little too much steering there in 14, but otherwise, pretty solid run.
58.09 compared to 58.24 in the first heat. Andrew Blaser is the leader. So 2 down, both with slower starts but with better runs.
Yeah, no, I mean it was like a little bit weird off of 0, but he fixed it with the toe and a little bit of body English.
It's hard to avoid bumping up that wall, isn't it? You kind of just want one runner to sort of trickle round and
Yeah, you want to kind of trickle around the curve, or maybe there is a line where you try to get bumped. Hey, look, I guess there's 2 guys that can do it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Blaser we're practicing that. He's never pulled one of those out in public before.
I mean, he tries not to show it, but he's really athletic.
Yes, he is. Okay, next up then, Alexander Schlindner, 700s, his lead over Andrew Blaser. So this could easily go either way.
Yeah, he was a little bit rough coming down the track last time, but
Yeah, he was rough on himself at the bottom as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's
absolutely furious.
He's just kind of still a little bit new, so he's still trying to figure some stuff out. He's still getting weird situations that he doesn't know what to do with it. That's a big skid. Very unideal. Yeah. So that's not ideal. It's going to cost him quite a bit over the next couple curves.
So the leader's gone, 400s back, and as you said, that loss of speed early on just follows you all the way down.
Yeah. I mean, it really kind of speed compounds, and if you don't have it, there's nothing to compound. So it's
he skids as well. It looks like he's...
Well, part of that's going to be the track. You can see it's kind of setting up finally. Like the track is looking glossy instead of wet, which, I mean, I don't know how much you can tell the difference, but the top of the track did look pretty wet still. So these guys just really don't have much grip. Speed's not too bad coming.
Okay, climbs to the line, 58.28. Blaser stays in the leader's box, and that was actually slower than his first heat by 900ths of a second. And that won't please Alexander Schlindner either.
It didn't look quite as dramatic as his first run, but you can tell he knew what was going on.
Yeah. I'm not sure what...
I mean, other than that 0-1, which was pretty... pretty bad.
Yeah, not sure what he was expecting of himself here, but he didn't get it, obviously.
Yeah.
Not the comfortable load either.
I mean, when he's on. He's very fast. It's just this is one of the an
One of those
unforgivable
days.
mistake in Winterberg.
And unfortunately in sport there are a lot more of those days than a lot more of the celebration days. That's what makes the winning.
Yeah, the celebration,
Yeah.
elated days are maybe 1 in 3 or 4 years, at least from my experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then mostly it's yeah.
Well, next up, with his eyes set on the road into Milan Cortina 2026, our next Winter Games, from Cortina d'Ampezzo, Mattia Gaspari. His sister also competes for Italy. She is a downhill skier in the Italian ski team. 5:14 getaway, again, like everybody so far, a little slower than the first heat.
Yeah, no, Mattia is known as an amazing driver. He also has like a slightly different sliding position than most sliders. You'll see his knees are a little further apart. If we get a top-down view, you probably won't, because these camera angles are different than normally. I'm filming him from over the top.
Yeah.
There you go. You can see what I mean. Feet a little wider, heels are close together still. This looks pretty okay so far. There's some waves.
Yeah, the top half wasn't bad in his first run. The bottom half wasn't so good. 1300s out to 1900s up with best speed so far.
Yeah, he's got some speed. It's a little bit wavy, but he's just going with it. Should be fine. A little bit of skid.
Unfortunately, the gaps ahead of him are quite large. He
Yep.
might pick up one spot, might pick up 2, but not more than that.
right, that was a tidy run.
57.86. So, yeah, 4200s, 4600s quicker, 3600s quicker than his first run.
Yeah, that's good.
In there somewhere.
Yeah, always classy. Plus
should
fantastic
slide in a
mustache.
cape.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think it would fit him.
Foil. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the position I was talking about where he has his knees right out at the edges of the sled where he can put the most force into the runners. And he's always very precise with his timing and class of the field in terms of driving skill.
Always fun to have around. And great to see the Italians back. They'll be competing in the women's race this afternoon as well. Next up is the man who started the European leg off. No, it's not. That was Amadeo Bannis. McKenzie was second out. So the young Canadian, just 21 years of age, only his 7th World Cup. His World Cup debut on this track then, as it will be for most of the European tracks. He did race here at the 2nd tier Intercontinental Cup and did the Junior Worlds here as well in 2020. Junior Worlds are here next week.
Yeah, and he'll be sitting out the World Cup next week to compete here at Junior Worlds, from what I hear.
So
A
5:16.
little bit of a skid, and now he's going late to 1.
Yeah.
Just set up some... It's pretty okay. It's good, an acceptable entrance to 2.
Got to be nice and quiet here. There's no pressure on the sled. You're just sort of floating
pressure.
vaguely over the ice, aren't you?
Toe correction. Exactly. Like it's kind of like you're afraid to breathe. Up until you get probably entrance of 8, personally. Oh, a little bit of a something. Just cries a little. Looked like a nose down skid. He's looking nice and relaxed on the sled.
Yeah, dropping behind Mattia Gaspari, though.
Yeah, his speed's gone. I think that his issues, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
are just compounding out. Well, plus that 0 to 1 didn't really help him. A little bit wild there.
Yeah.
But his speed's actually pretty okay now.
Well, across the line with a 58.51, so Mattia Gaspari pulls off 1 spot, and that for McKenzie is a 0.6 of a second loss of pace from his first hit.
I mean, he did have pretty good ice first heat and good ice second heat. So
again, you know, he's had 2 race weekends on this track in his life,
Yeah,
so
just not
this
a
is
lot of
still
experience.
unfamiliar territory, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit off here and there. Ooh, yeah, I guess the 13-14 was a little rougher than I saw at full speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a skid.
Not the first, not the last to get thrown off the sled there.
Nope.
So Mattia Gaspari leads, 5 sleds down, 15 to go here in Winterberg. 6th of our 20 starters race for the BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup in Winterberg in Germany. Vladislav Heraskevich, second and deciding heat. Martin Haven and Mike Rogels watching the action with you. Just a reminder that both heats count. It's your total time, not your best time, that decides where you finish.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. So Vlad, like we mentioned in the first heat, he's kind of like he's either great or he's pretty rough. And he's kind of been throwing the sled around a little too much, driving hard all this year. Right now, he's actually looking pretty relaxed again.
First man to go faster in his second start than in his first.
Yeah, he's looking much more relaxed on the sled this run.
And he's just starting to build his advantage now again over Mattia Gaspari into the Kreisel.
Good speed. Field so far. Let's see if he stays off the right wall here. Yeah, a little tap. More of a redirect, maybe, than a tap.
Well, if he'd been a tenth quicker in the first heat, he'd have been 4 places higher up.
Yeah, we got the field's pretty bunched up. This is a pretty hot run he's got going.
It's up and down, losing a bit of time back now, but he will have the lead over Gaspari. 57.92, 2 tenths slower than his first run for Vladislav Haraskevich.
Wow. It's weird because he looked a little bit more tidy and a little bit more relaxed on the sled. So I'm not totally sure where that time loss came from, but yeah, that's the sport.
The man from Ukraine with his father Mikhail, they were back in Kiev over the Christmas New Year break.
Just a little too early, got bumped down there. I mean, he had kind of a big second wave 11, but it's within tolerances.
No wood involved.
No, not even close. So maybe he just had to steer a little bit to keep that under control.
Haul it off. Okay, Yin Cheng of China is next up, second fastest starter, and he had a slender advantage over Vladislav Haraskevich after the first heat. But his real battle is the 200s deficit to his teammate Chen Wenhao, who comes up next.
It looks like there's a little bit of wiggle at the end of the left groove. Like you see the sled vibrate back and forth.
Still very wet out of the zero curve and turn there as well.
Not much grip at all.
No.
You can see them all fighting. A little bit rough off the end of 2. Maybe a little late into 4, but that should be fine because it will keep him from going too early to 5. Or, yeah. That's a little bit of a skid there from 5 to 6. It's pretty okay. I would take that. Not so much that. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time.
Only raced here once previously in the Europa Cup in 2021. He was a gold medalist, but that's at the very junior levels.
He's still got speed despite that that weird tap out in 8.
And hangs on in front of Vladislav Haraskevich, but again, nearly a quarter of a second back. In fact, 27 hundredths slower than his first run. So, you know, the run down from the start basically to corner 2 looks very wet. Everywhere else is starting to get that matte look on the track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to get a little frosty. I mean, you can see some wet spots here and there, but the track may be starting to slow down a little bit.
Our push world champion in Lake Placid, 2 weeks before Christmas, so
yeah, I see
no surprise to see him starting strongly.
See the wiggle sled. Yeah, so we'll see if that wiggle gets any worse and if people start popping. But I don't think so. I think that's probably fine. Ooh, it's kind of a flop off 13.
Yeah, most people are kind of loaded by that stage, aren't they? You're running it a long way down.
I mean, yeah, you're loaded. You should never pop once you're loaded, unless you're moving around or doing, silly things.
So next up then, Chen Wenhao, 200ths of a second advantage over Yin Cheng, and a yawning chasm of 3 more World Cups under his belt. This is his 8th World Cup start. So these two very much the junior division in the programme.
It's looking pretty nice. Nice entrance to 1, no skids between 0 and 1.
200's advantage from the first heat, 500 slower in the push. So as he lies down, he's behind, and now he needs to outdrive his teammate.
Yeah, you'll see the lead continue increase, or you'll see him falling further back for the first few splits, and then he should start reeling him back in. And there he goes, starting to reel it back in. Speed's pretty good.
A little scrapey noises you hear, the chin piece of the helmet on the ice.
Ooh, something happened.
Yeah.
But still, he's still reeling in his teammate.
Now he's in the green. 200s between them in the first heat. And he's opened that up. Speed's not great. Is it enough? Should be enough. Just is. 57.7. And he's a 10th up at the line.
Yeah. Did a good job reeling in his teammate.
Yeah. Again, the track does appear to be slowing up. It's that's 2100 slower than his first run.
Yeah, so when a track starts cooling down, it slows down a lot initially for a few sleds, and then it kind of stabilizes for the next however many sleds, and then it'll start slowing down quicker again as you get right to the end of the race. So we'll see what happens.
And then, of course, you get the vagaries of people who do make mistakes and don't make mistakes, and bigger and lesser mistakes, and so it muddies the water a lot.
Yes, very much so.
Chen Wenhao leads a Chinese 1-2, 8 down, 12 to go here in Winterberg. And next up, Austin Florian in the Battle of the Flows. Austin Florian versus Florian Auer of Austria, who comes up next.
Yeah, we'll see if Austin can do better from 0 to 1 than he did in the first round.
Yeah, they were only separated by 300s. In fact, he was only 600s ahead of Chen Wenhao. So this has been a very tight group of athletes, the two Florians and the two Chinese sliders.
Settle. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, good correction from the first round.
And that's kind of what you want, is just to get that little bump up on the turn without riding all the way up.
Yeah, you don't want to really ride up. You want to kind of let the sled get on and then turn it and then let it go so you're not steering in the flat. It's causing yourself to skid. This is looking like a pretty good run so far.
But the advantage is coming down. 800s, 600s, 400s.
He doesn't have quite the speed that I was expecting.
No. And maybe that's why it's looking a little neater and tidier. Maybe he's got a little more control. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So a bad entrance at 9s can hurt him a little bit. Okay. Good job steering it off.
Yeah.
11, 12.
Still 400s up. His advantage was only 600s from the first heat. How close at the line? 300s. Yeah.
Yeah, a little better drive up 14. There can be a couple tenths of difference at the finish, just based on how you drive curve 14. So, nice, good on him.
600s faster than Chen in the first heat, 300s slower in the second. Net result, 300s ahead. There's Tough Latour, the coach.
Yeah.
There you go. If there's a high five to be had, take it.
Every time.
Nice to see some young fans here as well.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, kind of high on the exit.
A little wild. And he dipped pretty low here in curve 11. He's a little high, but he does a good job of mostly keeping his shoulders down, so.
Right.
Take what the track gives you.
Austin Florian has the lead for the USA. 9 sliders down. And next, Florian Auer for Austria.
Yeah, I kind of undersold Flo's run the first run. He had the highest speed. He did a great job. He was driving pretty equivalent to the top 3. It's just his start kind of let him down.
Yeah, 5:13, 19th fastest start in the field of 20. So let's see what he can produce here.
A little bit rough off 0. That's going to hurt him a lot. Kind of big waves in 2.
Well, he found an extra 100th at the start, which never hurts.
No. And if anybody knows how to build speed, it's him. So. That's all pretty fine. Yeah, I like that Kreisel.
All right, speed's not as good, though.
No, that mistake out of 0.
Yeah.
And the waves in 2 really hurt him.
Yeah, the gap is increasing out to 3,800s. He's only 4th on the split times at the moment, so he's going to plunge down the order.
Let's see how far down. Wow, that's 4K slower than his first run.
Best result here, 12th place, and he's not going to match that. 4th with 10 to go.
I mean, it was really only 0-1 and then 1-2, and I guess 2-3 because the 2 was not ideal. But
Yeah.
like he did a good job getting it back online. He just couldn't make up for
Problem is,
that
yeah,
difference.
when you've tossed the speed away that early on, there's
Yeah.
just not enough ice to find it.
You might
again,
as well
so-
start 2/10 slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the runners side
and
on
he
as
was
he
even
comes
too early
towards the
into one.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a good feeling. So 10 down, 10 to go. Austin Florian leads for the USA from Chen Wenhao and Yin Cheng of China. And don't forget, 600s cover the fastest 4 after the first run. Craig Thompson, one of 3 British sliders in the field, all in the top 10. And Craig making his first World Cup start of the season, rehabbing an injury early in the year. Now, he has got a very quick start. So let's see what he's got for us.
Quick starter, learning how to drive real well, or really well, I suppose. He's coming on as a slider. He's developing very nicely. Yeah, no drama so far.
Was in the Intercontinental Cup before Christmas, not in the North American World Cup. 4 ICC races. He had 2 podium finishes, including 4 podium finishes, 2 here. So he's had a pretty decent season so far.
I would say early to Kreisel, but it looks like I like that line. So.
Speed about the same as Austin Florian. And the gap remains a whisker. 600s to 500s.
Let's see if it can be a little smoother. Yeah. That's fine. Everything's a little bit of skid.
Not yet on the new GB sled, and that's not enough speed, is it? He's in the red of the line. He is Austin Florian, top 10 result here. So what was Austin's previous best on this track? 15th place.
I mean, he's, yeah,
Yeah.
handily got that beat.
So second by 200s. Craig Thompson may yet get a top 10 result out of this track. His best result here previously has been a 5th.
Ooh, it's kind of a weird step, but
Yeah. Again, still rehabbing injury. He's trying to push as hard as he can, but that was just kind of just meandered away from the sled a fraction.
yeah, just a little skid in 14.
And when you're rocking and rolling down the bottom there, it's not as bad as at the top, but it still takes that speed away. You go into the final corner ahead and come out behind.
Yeah, you really can't. If you're skidding at all, if your runners are not moving or not parallel to the track coming into 14, you're just gonna throw away a ton of time. It's like a hockey stop essentially on your sled.
Amadeo Bagnis for Italy, first man off the mountain to start the new year here in Winterberg. Bit of pizza, horseshoe, all sorts of stuff all over his helmet livery.
Definitely got a unique style.
Yeah, 492 matches his first start exactly.
That is a weird 0, but it works for him. Like he hung onto the curve really long. I think the frost made that work.
Again, yeah, you know, sometimes now it's like when you drive a car on the highway and there's big standing water. When one tire goes through it, it kind of steers the car. That's what's going to happen with these sleds as well, to a degree.
Yeah, just a little early to Kreisel. Speed's not there.
Ooh, no.
Kind of waves. And
Yeah. You can see there's very few reflective surfaces on the track now.
Yeah.
Really quite frosty.
Yeah, he's late and then too early and then did an okay job. I think he probably had a little bit of a skid on the offensive 14 as well.
From a quarter second up to a 10th up, has he got the speed and the line? Just. Yeah, he only just hung on to that, didn't he?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, there's been a couple of close battles. Bagnis leads Austin Florian by 200s, Craig Thompson by 400s, Chen Wenhao by 500s in the second. Yeah. Yeah, there you're tossing names up in the air and seeing where they come down, aren't you?
Basically. Yeah, that's, what was that, 12, 13? Yeah. Yeah, so he just was little too late off 11. Caused a late spike in 12.
Philly Schneider, always so hard to read.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's gotten better. He's starting to show some emotion.
No, probably lovely guy.
Oh, no, he's awesome.
He is absolutely awesome. Next up for Team GB, Marcus Wyatt. One win in his career, and that came in North America to start the season in Whistler. So gold in Whistler, bronze in Park City, and just off the podium, 4th place in Lake Placid. Still dialing himself into this new sled built by Matthias Guggenberger and the Ducours brothers. 492, another good start.
Yeah, good start, good 0.
And he's really finding a whole new, Matt Weston, Laura D's finding a whole new energy this season with this new sled.
Yeah, it can be kind of
coaching,
refreshing.
Yeah, new coaching setup always helps kind of.
Yeah, just to kind of reset things,
Yep.
take stuff back to 0. You get a whole new set of lines from the new coach, a whole new set of steers from the new sled.
600's up, this is going to be super close as well. Only the 8th best speed though.
Yeah, not the speed I was expecting.
Not as quick.
Although he's starting to pull back away, maybe.
Here we go. Now, we may have seen the highest speeds already out of this track. We'll wait to see where we get to with our fast 4. But he's opening up his advantage. 1700s, 2 tenths, 3 tenths of the line. Wow.
Yeah, he was very smooth. In the same spot that Amadeo was rough, essentially right at the bottom of the track, right before you go uphill. So he's carrying more speed.
Well, he's gone from 500s to 3 tenths ahead of Amadeo Banyas.
Yeah,
and yet the speeds are not the best. So,
no.
Yeah, the track is definitely not as quick as it was in the first heat.
Yeah, I mean, the track is faster than it was in training.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Look at how reflective that is.
Yeah.
I guess it must just be openly raining at the top.
It's still under the roof there, though, until, I mean,
until when you get out of right about there.
Down to 0.
Yeah, that's...
You can see where the water is run across the track. Oh, look, they're running high fives. All right, so Marcus Wyatt leads with 7 to go. Next up, a man who has a whopping 200ths of a second advantage over the current leader, his own teammate, Matt Weston. Matthias Guggenberger yells him off at the top.
Wow, look at the water really running down the track right now. It all of a sudden just opened up. He did a great job handling it, though, from 0 to 1.
So 491, 100th quicker at the start.
Nice and smooth.
And now he's opened that up to 600s over Wyatt.
Still smooth.
Matt Weston also one of our 3 race winners this season. One in Lake Placid before Christmas. Got engaged over the Christmas-New Year break.
This is very... I mean, other than that little tap before Kreisel.
And this is what you expect to see in Winterberg, just creeping away, 100th here and 100th there. It is so close.
Top speed.
Top speed, wow.
So he's gonna...
So that'll be 2 tenths, not quite at the line. So that shows how quick Marcus was at the bottom as well, 57.60.
Yeah.
And again, half a second slower than his first run, but enough to take him into the lead by 1300ths of a second.
Understandably pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, like I said, other than that one little tap before Kreisel. And then, I don't know. Yeah, like it wasn't that high drama. I mean, that's not ideal, but it's not going to hurt you too much.
High, but not high drama.
Yeah, a little bit of a drop-off of runner drop-off the end of curve 9 there. And then maybe a little bit high at the end of 11, but like he fixed the Kreisel issue in Kreisel, so it's, yeah, it's a good drive.
So GB 125 at the moment with 6 sleds remaining. First of whom, Kim Ji-soo, 300s behind Germany's Felix Kaisinger, the first of 3 German athletes that we will get to. So let's see what Kim can produce. Decent history here, 3 previous World Cup races. His best result, a 6th place finish.
Absolute river.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a skid. Good velocity. Well, we'll see if that skid hurt him. So the nice thing about the hydroplaning that happens is that sometimes it doesn't quite hurt you as much as like a skid won't hurt you quite as much as it would on bare ice. So maybe he got away with that.
So the winner might end up having the best whitewater rafting skills. 500s up. Yeah. Look at the speed, only 30 fastest.
Maybe I spoke too soon with that.
Well, yeah, but we've looked at the speed before and been misled. 100th, only the 12th best speed.
Yeah.
Now again, has he got too much runner contact? Is there too much being gripped by the frost? 400s back. 1300s back in 2nd place is Marcus Wyatt. He drops behind him into 3rd.
Nice. Wow.
So
that was yeah, I guess that 0-1 still kills you. Even
it was looking to improve on 6th, or at least tie a PB here, but does not do so yet. He is 3rd with 5 to go. What's Matt Weston's previous best on this track? I can't find him there. Why have I lost him? Oh, yeah, here we go. 11th. So he's no, yeah, 11th. So he's going to comprehensively beat that. Kim, yeah, again, the same bump and flop that everybody's getting down at the bottom of the track.
Yeah, if you hang on to, it looks like a lot of people are kind of hanging on to curve 12 just a little bit too long. And when you do that, it crosses you over into 13 just a little too early. You get kind of bumped away from 13 from the entrance. You don't necessarily hit, but you get bumped away, and then you have that late height, which causes a flop. And just the direction of the flop off the curve is different than the direction of the energy of that the curve is giving you, and it breaks you into that nose left skid.
5 to go in Winterberg. 3 Germans remain. Last German winner on this track, Florian Gressel, 14 years ago. 486.
That's quite the medal drought.
Yeah.
Not medal drought, because they've been doing...
Well, that last male winner for Germany on this track,
fair yeah.
The German woman will go, hang on a minute, wait, what about us?
Every year? What?
So Felix Kaisinger, 1200s up at the start, 1200s up still. They only had 700s in hand from the first heat, so that extra advantage has come from his start, but it's bleeding away already, and look at the speed. And in fact, you could see now the mist of water on a camera lens, so there's even more drizzle in the air.
Speed. Okay.
Matt Weston and Marcus Wyatt, 1300s apart, 1-2. Where's Kaisinger going to fall? He's going to drop to 3rd, isn't he? He's not got the speed. Now the track has taken that nosedive. You were talking about, there's the victory roll. But only 4th at the line, 57.87 for Felix Kaisinger. That might be the first time I've seen him not improve on a first heat in a World Cup race.
Yes, no, I agree.
And look, his helmet's come undone as well.
Yeah, I think that was probably him.
Maybe on the in-run, yeah.
Yeah, right on the outrun, right after he got back on his runners. Yeah, just too much cross there from 5 into 6, I think. Or is that, I don't know where that was. It could have been the lower labyrinth as well.
Yeah. And here in the Kreisel. Nice line, but holding that line, you have to steer, and then, just hanging it out there at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. Not an overjoyed Felix Kaisinger. Matt Weston leads with 2 to go, basically, because we've got 3 sleds tied to the 100th of a second, and then the leader. So 4 sleds remain, but basically nothing between them. 600s cover the top 4. This is a dead heat. Here's the Olympic champion. He goes first. Oh, 499. He's found 600s at the start. That might make the big difference.
Yeah, and 0-1 was great looking.
Now, it was a yawning gap back from our 3-way tie for second to Matt Weston of 2400ths of a second.
Yeah, you can see him making slight adjustments in the straightaways, which probably means he doesn't have a ton of grip, which is probably a good setup for these conditions. Yeah.
Second best speed.
Yeah, this is looking very tidy. very tidy so far.
Excellent. And he's holding his advantage over Matt Weston and building it.
Very clean. A little too early maybe there, but totally fine. Yeah, he's top speed. Yeah,
Okay.
being first.
Last German man to win on this track, Bavaria's Florian Grassel. We might be renewing that association.
Yes, you got a chance.
That's a good run. That's 40. No, it's not. I beg your pardon. I was going to say faster. It's not. It's about 6/10 slower than his first heat. However, that was significantly better than the last 3 or 4 sleds that we've seen.
Yeah, so the track still has some speed for the best sliders.
If you know where to find it, it's still there. Again, we talked in the first heat about knowledge of the track. He will have raced this track in just about every conceivable weather, including plague of frogs, so he knows how to react well.
Exactly, and he's probably trained a bunch at this speed because they don't race prep tracks for just normal training.
Yeah.
So he probably has quite the volume of experience here in like these kinds of conditions.
So the Olympic champion leads, 3 to go. He's not guaranteed a medal. Tied in second place were all 3 Beijing Olympic medalists. Gold medalist Christopher Grote has gone. He leads. Silver medalist Axel Jung is at the line. And the fan club waits at the bottom.
Yeah, you can hear him making some noise outside our booth.
Yeah. Now, he started a fraction quicker than Grotheer in the first heat. Needs more as well.
Groove pulled him pretty hard.
Yeah, got up in the frost and loses his advantage.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of a big wave. 2. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, Grotheer had such a nice run going down.
This is going to be super tight.
Yeah, it should be.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see, because Grotheer tends to be faster on the way down.
Right, it's gone. Christopher Grote here had the best speed at that stage. Axel Jung only the 10th best speed. This might be a medal slipping away from Axel. He's had
quarter second.
4 silvers and a bronze in the last 4 years,
so
5 years.
The 0 to 1 really just, I mean, third speed still.
Third best speed. Is he going to be ahead of Matt Weston? Yes, by 100th of a second. Whoa, but he was 3/10 ahead of Matt Weston.
Yeah, that was
4/10 ahead of Matt Weston after the first heat. So
that groove pulling him left. I mean, he corrected it very quickly. Like his reaction time is impeccable. You can see how wet it is. He's got droplets on his visor.
Yeah.
We don't have windshield wipers on the sled, so or on your helmet, so
you don't need it. Bit of Rain-X and some speed.
Yeah.
Look, there goes the big toe steer.
There's a big skid there.
Yeah.
With the toe to kind of correct everything. He did it. I mean, yeah. He was just trying to keep the runners pointed straight instead of skidding, so he took the little tap off the wall, which was smart.
Yeah, lesser of 2 evils there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so Christopher Grote here leads and is in the medals here. And the last German man to claim a medal on this track, Axel Jung, silver in January of this year. Jung and Grotheer, silver and bronze in December 21. So what about our Olympic bronze medalist, Yang Wengang of China?
You can see the water splashing up out of the groove as he's pushing.
Well, he manages to hold it and gets a decent run through 0. And he's still in the green over Grotheer.
Not much velocity, but so far a good-looking drive. Flop off of 2 there. Yeah, and then kind of mental entry to 4, which is good entry to 5. We'll see.
Yeah, he's gone behind, needs good speed out of 5.
Yeah, he's
and he hasn't got it.
No, I think maybe he's overdriving. I mean, he did have the nose away entry into curve 1, which loses you quite a bit of speed.
Yeah. 14th best speed, 2600s back. Axel Jung is 4/10 back. So is Matt Weston. Is he going to be in the medals, Jan? How close is this going to be? Olympic bronze medalist is his 5th in the line. Christopher Grote will take at least a silver medal.
Well, that's 2 medals for Germany.
Yeah. Christopher Grote, Axel Jung lead, 1 to go. Our World Cup points leader Jung Seung-gui and Yan Wengang has had a medal slip out of his grasp here.
Yeah, no, I mean, other than you can literally see the water splashing out of the groove, so you're losing some energy there. Anytime you have to displace water, that's energy out of your sled. Bleeding speed.
He lost more in the zero kink down to turn 1, and that's never coming back. 1 to go. 3 races this year, 3 different winners. Will we have a 4th different winner? Jung Seung-gui is our World Cup points leader, but he has not had a race win this season.
He's a very powerful starter, so the groove being kind of full of water shouldn't hurt him too much until he loads, and then at that point all he has is gravity and whatever speed he brought to the start.
Koshi, the coach at the back, shouting him off. This is for his first career win, Jung.
Oh, that's a big skid. That's a big skid. He got the same pole as Jung, but yeah, he did kind of a big hockey stop, 13th speed.
Had 600s, it was 1300s as he lay down. He's now lost 2 tenths to our leader, Christopher Grotheer.
Yeah, the drive is pretty tidy, so it's a little high. Yeah, a little skid from, yeah, he's got nothing.
No speed at all.
You hate to see that.
Yeah, the World Cup points leader is going to plunge down the order.
Yeah, so as it rains, the rain melts the groove gets wider, it gets a little more unpredictable. The same conditions for everybody, so there's nothing.
Well, this is now not even going to be a top 10 finish, never mind victory. 20th speed, the slowest sled down the track, and at the line, 13th place. It's victory for Christopher Grotheer. Victory for Christopher Grotheer. His previous best on this track has been a solitary silver medal, 2 bronze medals rather, I beg your pardon. And he becomes the first German male slider to win here since the 2008-9 season. Florian Gressel.
Look at that streak of silvers for Axel.
Yeah, yeah, that continues. That's his 5th silver medal on this track. But
yeah, there's
Jung,
the big redirect, and then huge
he just
power slide.
Slid onto 0, didn't he?
Yeah, that's man, you hate to see it. And then he got bumped away from it.
Yeah.
So that nose away entrance, that kind of middle crossing away from destroys your speed. Great drive from our winner, Christopher.
Really good.
With the
Used his knowledge, used his experience, held his nerve, held his line.
Yeah, same conditions, and he was fast.
And basically, and the thing here always in Heat 2 is don't give it away. He didn't give it away.
No, not at all.
You know, within 600s of the lead, that's pretty much a dead heat for the top 4, and whoever gave most away. He had quite a high corner 0, but he controlled it, didn't skid off.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you said, the frost helped just hold the runner in
just
there.
holds you on there so you don't slide off, which is something you don't know unless you've slid here a bunch in frost. So.
Or you just ride your luck and go through that. I mean, the way he came through the final corner.
Oh yeah, he was just like doing as little as possible.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, top speed of the race. So or of the second heat.
So fastest man down, Christopher Grotheer, the first German winner here in 14 seasons in the male skeleton field. Axel Jung takes silver. Matt Weston, another medal for him with the bronze. Marcus Wyatt in 4th. Then Yang Wengang and Kim Ji-soo. So it's unfortunate that when you get, unfortunately, wet weather rather than snowy weather, it can affect the track. But in the end, Christopher Grotheer absolutely made the best of it. And for our first round leader, Jung Seung-gui, 13th place, the finish. It is definitely one of those that's going to go down as a race that got away from him. But you learn from all of your mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, if you don't repeat them, then the outcome will be better next time out.
Yeah, no, it's a tough learning experience.
Yes, it is. Okay, so Christopher Grotheer is our winner here and our World Cup points leader ahead of Marcus Wyatt, who led after the first couple of races, and then Axel Jung moves up to 3rd as Jung drops down to 4th place. Matt Weston, Felix Kaisinger giving chase. So 4 World Cup events in for men's skeleton, 4 more to go. The first two of those will come up in Altenburg in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll have the World Championships in St. Moritz, uniquely in the last, well, 25 years, in the, not quite the middle of the season, but before the end of the season. And then the World Cup campaign will continue through Innsbruck and Sigulda. But that's it for the men's competition. The women's race will start at 15:30 CET, 14:30 GMT. Until then, from me, Martin Haven, and from Mike Rogels, thanks for joining us. We'll see you for the women's race this afternoon.
Schöne Grüße nach Hause.